Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unlabeled the Podcast. I'm your illustrious host, Jerome Williams. Don't ask me why I started like that, because I was actually joking behind the scenes, but y'all couldn't see me, so I apologize if that turned some of y'all off. But
I was waiting on the let's get ready to rumble.
right, pure head. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unlabeled the Podcast. I'm your illustrious host, Jerome Williams. I got my good friend Kyrie Greer in the building. How you feeling, Kyrie?
Man, folks, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling excellent this week, man. How you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling good, man. My allergies ain't bothering me. I finally got over. I think I got enough Zyrtec and Flonase in my system over the last few weeks to be good. So, I'm doing much better, bro.
Hey, it's crazy that, we was talking about tree sex, you know what I'm saying? And I was about to say, do the trees wear condoms? But really, it's us that wear condoms by taking allergy medicine because it's protection from the tree sex.
Nah, I think the allergy medicine is more like Plan B. Just go to the store. Trees be like, here, sorry for last night. Take one of these.
My bad, folks. I ain't even mean it like that.
Here. What would Dave Chappelle say? A cure for AIDS. Here you go.
Right.
Yeah, dog. But
that Magic Johnson special.
Yeah, straight up. But hey, listen, dog. Yeah, the Zyrtec been doing wonders. So I'm actually feeling a lot better, a lot under the weather, man. And I hope y'all listeners enjoyed last week's episode. Like I said, it really wasn't a constructive episode. I kind of want to bring just a little bit of levity. We was just clowning around, so like I hope y'all didn't take nothing that was said last week too serious. You know what I'm saying? Because we like to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Be provocative on this podcast a lot of times. But we also, y'all know our main mission, like I said, is to uplift the voices of the Black community and the marginalized community, and also be entertaining in the process, because we all know, us as Black folks in our community, certain things to reach our ears has to have a certain level of education. I mean, a certain level of entertainment. I'm sorry. So that's why we kind of, we rolled our sleeves up, loosened up the ties a little bit last week. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of bring y'all a different level of entertainment. But like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed last week's episode.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely I feel like it was one of our funnier episodes too. Just, what I'm saying, being able to sit back sometimes and just laugh, you know what I'm saying, but still be able to hit on some topics and stuff like that. But I definitely thought it was an entertaining episode, and it was good to kind of have a change of pace. Right,
facts. Yeah, and I know I was in rare form, and I apologize because I told y'all I wasn't going to be using the notorious N-word anymore in the B-word. So,
man,
I'm still working on it. I'm still a work in progress, by the way, but We gonna get better at it, man. But today, as y'all can see on the screen, it's Good Friday tomorrow. But by the time this airs, it'll be Good Friday. So that's why I titled today's episode. We don't have too much to talk about today. We're gonna get into a little bit of the NBA. Mostly talk about the Lakers. We're gonna talk about rapper Mano here, because he just had some very strange comments. We also gonna talk about a little bit of gun reform in light of the shooting in Brooklyn this past week, and also we're gonna talk about coping with depression. So if y'all would like to join us in the chat and kind of engage in the conversation, but we're gonna give y'all some practical ways to kind of cope with depression. But for now, let me see. Should I set the tone, Kyrie? It's Good Friday.
On my soul, set the tone.
On my show, folks. Set the tone, folks.
Bro, and also, our listeners, please go ahead and leave us a like. Please comment, subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah. Why y'all at this? Comment, subscribe. You know what? I had something in mind, but I think because it's Good Friday, it would only be apropos to play a little bit of this here Kanye. So let me start there, bro.
That's a good choice.
If I can get it to come up, I can't get it to come up.
On the G, you can't get it to come up.
Here you go. I got it.
All right, bet.
I got it. So we're gonna start here, y'all. Make sure this ain't muted over here.
I got the world in my hands, the master plan, but I don't know why I keep calling, why I keep all of these girls in my shows. They love me, but I don't know why I keep calling, why I keep calling you.
All the models to the floor right now. All the models to the floor right now. What? Huh? All the models to the floor right now. All the models to the floor right now.
I'm in my Christian Dior with a Veronica Webb. No Amy Lenore, Chanel, Cecily Lopez. Arlena Sosa, Salida E. Banksy. Grew up on my beat, speak that Jordan Dunn language. Make a phone call out to Joan Smalls. I wonder how it feel and Laura Stone's walls. Jessica Jones, y'all, I would damage her. And see if Jessica Stam got the stamina. I'm in the car with Leo in the Benz swerve. I heard Bar was friends with S.D. Ginsburg, Coco Rocha, Kate Mimosa, Alessandra Ambrosia, Andre Rubik and Olga, Curry Lingo, tell her I'm very single. Abby Lee too, I'm a freak boo. I'm wildin', I'm on 1,000. I wanna see Irina shake next to Dowson. In my hands, a master plan, but I don't know why I keep calling. Why I keep all of these girls in my shows. They love me.
I miss Ryan Leslie too, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We need Ryan Leslie to come back and make an appearance. And just for y'all, our listeners who don't know, the reason I talk over these is for the YouTube algorithm, so they won't stop our stream.
Yep.
Miami Nights on a search for some TNA, trying to hide what's obvious to seeing me. We conversate a bit about your DNA and my salmon colored suit from the VMAs. Oh, you was watching? Who the fuck wasn't? Me skip across that stage in 5 dozen. Yeah, $6 grand for a minute's time. Italian Vogue styled a nigga for a minute rhyme. Let's be clear and let's be fair. The best thing in music's being offered here. It's a round table full of bosses here, still giving you a all like the coffee
got the world in my hands, a master plan, but I don't know why I keep calling. Why I keep all of these girls in my shows. They love me, but I don't know why I keep calling. Why I keep calling you.
I want to see how our listeners feel. Everybody in the chat too. I double dog dare with any of y'all to name one bad Pusha T song. I'm letting this rock.
It's time for a lesson in model behavior. Damn, look at all the bad bitches I gave you. Man, I can see the flaws to your flavor. Look like Wonder Woman and still need a savior. Maybe it's a billionaire, maybe it's that cocaine. I done seen drugs and money run the whole game. A good girl, lost in the city life. Asian provocateur, hold them titties right.
Handcraft material, champagne for cereal. Shorty stole my heart, criminal, my lucky charm. Fly clothes and lead shows, type of stuff we own. Stuff all my problems in that bong and I'm puffin' strong. I've been locked in my way of thinking, now my cups are gone. Must have been the liquor talking, I'm begging the cups, come on. My come off's irregular, I come in custom form. TGIF, GT beats, my hustler's poem. My sound's full grown, reminds me of my favorite chronic. Ball like a supersonic, nigga haters vomit. Nigga make some money for you, make a comment. I meant to snap a while ago, but who knows where the time went. Probably dime chicks, whips with a ditty. Now I'm back like a 9 milli money. New York City, see me clearly through the storm. The world's mine, sits pretty in my palm. Sean Dawn as we continue on.
Man, dang, Brandon, thanks, man. I'd like godly, bro. I had no clue that Pusha T lost both his parents recently. One of our listeners in the live chat just let us know that Pusha T lost his parents, so I guess this was very apropos for me to play this good music track, man. But thoughts and prayers out to his family, man. I had no clue that he lost both his parents recently. I see this interview here on Revolt if y'all would like to look into that a little bit. Yeah, Kyrie, we back though, bro.
What's up, brother?
I said we back. I see you over there reading. That's how I let you know. I'm done with the music, bro. We can talk over the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm just reading right here. We
Yeah.
good. We can start.
Yeah, we good. But man, listen, yeah, like I said, thoughts and prayers out to Pusha T and his family, man. But
Yeah, for real.
But first of all, let's talk about these Lakers, man.
Hey, you still got the music playing?
I'm about to turn it down right now, bro. Just give me 1 second. I like have to fade it out because this is not an actual. This is a YouTube.
Oh.
track, so I gotta fade it out. So you gotta give me a second, but we can go right into the transition to the Lakers. And now, can you hear it still? Because you getting pretty quiet over there, Kyrie.
All right, because I couldn't hear anything. The
Oh,
music,
okay,
all
so
I heard
loud.
was the music. I couldn't hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just want to make sure. My bad. You good now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we good. We good.
All right. There we go.
All right. So what you say about these fakers?
Bro, why you got to start here today?
Because it's good content. It's good content.
It don't make for
so,
good content, bro. You just
Huh?
you just being a hater, dog. Like
I ain't being a hater.
I feel like you being a hater. Kendall ain't even on this episode. We want to do this.
We gotta talk about it, though.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Lakers.
All right. So,
It's
so
all
first
Anthony
off,
Davis' fault.
Everybody already knows.
It's Anthony
LeBron,
Davis' fault. I'll stop.
Hey.
I'll stop. Go ahead, bro.
LeBron, the Lakers, they didn't make the playoffs. It's more than Anthony Davis' fault. It was one of the worst built rosters of Lakers franchise history, outside of their superstars, I believe. So align with your expectations that you had for the beginning of the season for the Lakers versus now. How you feel about your squad, man?
Listen, bro, it's Anthony Davis' fault. I'm telling you, bro. I don't care what nobody say. Listen, the starting lineup of the Lakers, they played together all of 39 games. In those 39 games, they won 30 games. If Anthony Davis could have managed to stay healthy, it would have been his squad. He could have took over, bro. I honestly feel like the majority of this is him being a paper mache man. I feel like it was a majority his fault. I also feel like Coach Vogel had no clue which lineups to play. So I think that came into a lot to do with it as well. But I honestly feel like if Anthony Davis would remain healthy, playing on some Giannis type level. I ain't saying that he's going to be Giannis, but with his skill set, because he ain't got that heart, but with his skill set, he could have been something close to it had his heart been intact, or you know what I mean, or he'd have made some better choices in the off seasons with his body. You know what I'm saying? So I feel.
What do you think?
Go ahead.
What do you think happened to his passion for the game? I feel like his passion is just gone. When you watch him, it looked like he don't even care.
The lights in LA might be too bright for him. That's what it feel like. I feel like the lights in LA too bright for him.
I could see that because he played way different in the bubble without the fans versus when he had the fans there. I definitely think Anthony Davis has a share of the blame when it comes to the Lakers' failures. Ultimately, I'm looking at Rob Pelinka, right? Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people like to say LeGM, LeBron has a big hand in constructing these rosters, which he's going to have his say. Every superstar has his say. I just think people get carried away when we talk about the LeBron conversation when it comes to him developing rosters. Ultimately, Rob Pelinka is the guy to go to. Mm-hmm. I think if they would have rebuilt that roster a little bit better instead of trying to get LeBron and company together because, Westbrook didn't work out. Carmelo was solid. Carmelo was consistent all year, right? But they traded a lot of defense. Like you said, Frank Vogel fell in love with certain lineups. Mm-hmm. He didn't give enough players a chance. As you can see in the last game when they gave the young guns a chance, they balled out, right? Mm-hmm. But I do think, again, Anthony Davis was supposed to be that guy for the Lakers. It was literally supposed to be LeBron passing the torch to him. Mm-hmm. We didn't see that year. I feel like if he was healthy and he was consistent, he did have passion, the Lakers might have made the play in. They might have, they would have made the play in. I still see them as like a 7th, 8th seed, even with Davis, just because of the deficiencies that they have on defense. Mm-hmm. But it's just, I feel like this organization is making a lot of bad moves right now. Like the way they did coach Frank Vogel and how he found out from the media basically that he no longer had a job. That was trash. And that should never happen in any circumstance.
Hold on.
That's up there.
So you just said something that I was not aware of. Say that one more time.
So they fired Frank Vogel a day before the last game of the season. He found out through the media in the interview.
Wow. I had no clue. Okay, so for all the listeners, y'all know, I disengage if my teams ain't doing well. So I can't live under that type of anxiety because I'm like a diehard fan. So I have been completely disengaged with the NBA this season. I mean, I know I called the Bucks repeating, so this is like their success right now is kind of apropos. So I'm not even tripping on the Bucks. Y'all know I'm still a Milwaukee Bucks fan, but straight up, But the Lakers not being as good as they were supposed to be and living up to expectations this season, I just kind of disengaged with this season altogether. So I had no clue that Frank Vogel got fired the day before this end of the season. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but he needed to
and
be
he
fired.
he found out through an interview. I think so. I would say, yeah, they probably needed a new coach. It doesn't seem like Vogel can manage the personalities in that locker room, right? But I don't think he should have got fired for the reason that they fired him. They used him as a scapegoat when clearly this was just a bad constructed roster. But like I said, this organization is making a lot of bad choices, and I don't even see them making a proper choice with their head coach when it comes to this season. You should have hired Ty Lue. You see how Ty Lue got the Clippers still in playoff contention, and they played the majority of the season without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even know if Kawhi's going to come back for the playoffs. If he comes back, that could be another contender in the West that we don't even see. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, didn't the Clippers just get put out? They just got because they was
No.
just okay.
They
go
got
ahead.
another play-in game.
Okay,
They got
okay,
another
okay,
play.
okay.
If they lose that one, then they get kicked out.
Okay,
So
okay.
they got to play the Pelicans coming up. I think it's this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, because they lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves on the play-in game. Speaking of the Timberwolves, did you see their end of game reaction? Like basically they were celebrating like they won a championship.
Yes, dog.
Pat Bev was crying
Bev-
and everything like that.
Yeah, Pat Beverly was out of control with his remarks talking about F the Clippers and the weak A Clippers and all this. I'm trying to bite my tongue, y'all. I'm trying to do too much cussing this episode, because we have listeners who listen with children in the cars in the morning, so I'm trying to be respectful. But
Right.
yeah, Pat Bev was very, very, very explicit. I'll just say redacted. So he was saying that the weak redacted Clippers and all that. He was pretty much spazzing on them. But he was out of control. Like, fam, you just won one playing game. Like, y'all still got to play. Like, he was wilding.
Yeah, now I could see if they you know what I'm saying, if they were going off that 20-year playoff drought or wherever they had, and this is their first time getting into the playoffs, I get that. But again, I can't judge these guys. These guys, this is their life. You know, this is what they do. So it's a lot of emotion that goes behind that. And I'm pretty sure Pat Bev felt a little bit jaded by how the Clippers traded him and everything like that. But he had that coming by the way he was playing in the playoffs, pushing Chris Paul, doing all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Organizations don't want that. They want the defense, they want the energy and everything like that. I was trying to not say a pause-worthy moment on live television or live YouTube over here, because I was definitely about to say something else. But I don't know where the Lakers go from here. Do you think they need to trade AD and Westbrook, and who's going to take Westbrook's contract after this season?
Okay, so a couple things. Brandon in the chat just mentioned about Frank Vogel being an amazing defensive coach, and I agree.
Correct.
That's what worked. But when you get rid of
all your defensive key
all your
pieces.
defensive key pieces. Thank you. When you get rid of all of them, and then yo quote unquote what they like to use for AD, they like to call him a potential defensive player of the year, is always hurt. Of course your team is gonna be cheeks. Like, you know what I'm saying. And you can't depend on 37-year-old LeBron to put you on the shoulders and carry the squad. So yeah, I 100% agree with everything you just said, Brandon. And Lamar said the Clippers is cheeks, they getting put out next game. But anyway, so what did you just ask me, bro? You just asked me about
basically, where do the Lakers go from here? Do you think they should trade AD, and who's going to take Russell Westbrook's contract?
I think
because he gonna opt in.
I think they should blow.
$45
I think so. I think they should blow up the whole team. Like, real talk. I think that LeBron should be even on the trading table.
Top block.
I agree. Top block. I agree because what LeBron does, bro. He's such a draw that he pretty much drains all the teams, every team that he goes to, of their resources. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to put people around him, you know what I mean, and fill those seats. So I ain't giving Bron no way pass. I just said trade Bron. J-Mac is in the comments talking about giving Bron.
I saw J-Mac comment.
Yeah. No, bro. I said trade him. I think they should trade LeBron. I think that's their major issue right now. And he not carrying them to no chip. It's good to have him and to put cheeks and seats pause. But like real talk, like I think it's time for him to go. And so yeah, he got to get up out of there. I think they should keep AD, but it also depends on his health and what kind.
I don't think they should keep AD.
Yeah, I mean they can get rid of him too, like, honestly. But I think he's young enough and talented enough for them to keep him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the rest of them got to go.
Yeah, I think the light's too bright for AD. I do think they should trade LeBron, or LeBron should be on the chopping block. And I agree that he just takes up so many teams' resources. They traded away damn near all their picks, right? If you would have had a better team if you didn't bring Westbrook, if you kept either Kyle Kuzma or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, you bring in DeMar DeRozan, and then you bring in Buddy Hield. You got you got some shooters around LeBron, and that's what he needs. But like I said, I don't feel like LeBron's that guy no more. Yes, what he's doing is what he's doing is super amazing. Blurt that out in the audio, my bad.
No, you good.
Yes, what he's doing is like super amazing, but he's not there to where we can see him take over games to lead a team to a championship. He's a very, very valuable piece in the NBA still. I think there's a lot of rosters he could work on. I pray to God he doesn't go to the Warriors because I've heard rumors of him potentially going to play with Steph Curry. So I don't know where it goes, but I definitely think Rob Pelinka got to get out of there. I think they scapegoating a lot of players. They scapegoated Westbrook. They scapegoated Frank Vogel. But really, it's management that needs to change because they've been making bad decisions for years.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, but definitely what you said about LeBron. I offensively, I think he's still a dominant monster,
Yeah.
but it's on the defensive end, and unless you're putting defensive pieces around him with also the shooters, like no team that he goes to is gonna get it done. You know what I mean? He got to be on a team where they can cover it on the other end because you already see what he can do still offensively on the other end of the court.
Right.
He just can't hold no defense. I mean, he can hold it at times, but it still ain't enough. Like, and you can't count on him to lock in for 38 minutes a night. You know what I'm saying? It's he'll only give you like bits and pieces of his defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's 30. He's 37. There's only so much you can ask this guy to do at this point. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron don't get no passes for this season, though. Again, this roster is partially his fault because he wanted to play with Westbrook instead of bringing in Buddy Hield, and he traded away a lot of defense to do that. So he don't get no passes either. J-Mac. You know what I'm saying? I know J-Mac probably want to hear that. Reading the comments, Ant Edwards is that dude. Brandon, what else Brandon say? Dude was really balling for the Lakers with an ankle monitor back in the day. Who are you talking about?
I have no idea. I think it's. He's talking
I don't know who you're talking about.
He was talking about Caldwell Pope. He was talking about Caldwell Pope.
Oh yeah, he was. But yeah, I think OKC would be a good spot for Westbrook. They got some nice young talent, but I think he should come off the bench with the second unit. Let Shai Gilgeous-Alexander do his damn thing because that man is a monster.
Enough.
J-Mac going crazy, but enough of the NBA.
Yeah,
let's get into our other topics.
Yeah, to get into that. So I guess you want to go ahead and move into Mano and him being 12 years a slave.
Hey, dog, yes. And the reason I said 12 years a slave for this title is because it's been about 12 years since I've heard any news from Mano. So what he's been doing for that 12 years. I don't know if you could play the audio for the audience so we can get into this topic about what's going on with Mano.
Dude, did you send me the link to that?
I did. Hold on. I can send it again because I literally just watched it.
Yeah, send it here and I'll play it for the audience live on the air.
All right, check your Instagram. Let that roll out. J-Mac said he came to rib.
That's all he do is come to rib. Nah. He nothing constructive. That's why I had to fire him from Unlabeled. Here go the clip of y'all from Mano talking ridiculousness right now. Let me see.
Ah, shit.
Here we go.
It's so wrong.
It's so wrong. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've never talked about this.
Ah, shit.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, no.
Mano. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I like to play like a runaway slave.
Okay.
I like to play like a disobedient slave with a white woman.
So tell me like what you say.
Yes, master. I was sorry.
It's just two. It's two of them. Like it's like me getting whooped, right?
You get whooped?
It's like I play like you whipping, but most of them don't want to play like that. This
yeah, I was gonna say, what white woman goes along with this?
They don't want to play like that. They don't.
Okay.
This is my. It's like.
All right, I've had enough. Y'all pretty much get the gist of the conversation, so I don't think I got to play no more of this.
Hey, Brandon put some eyes. Brandon put the sideways eyes in the chat.
Listen, dog, this dude, bro, he wilding. And Brandon, I hope you ain't agreeing with this sentiment because we gonna flame you in this chat in a second. But,
but Brandon, you my guy, but you bet not. What you think about that, Rome? You be out here role playing runaway slave,
bro? Please, never in a million years, bro. I'm not. We don't play around with tragic events like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, never in a million years. And anybody who feels comfortable enough playing that. If anybody asks me to ever do something like that, you might as well square up, man, woman, or child. You might as well square up because I ain't going, fam. Like, this is nuts, fam. I've heard when I heard this initially, bro, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, and it goes back to people fetishizing black men and women. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I've talked about it in the past before about how we are it's a stereotype that we are, you know, well endowed over other races and whatnot, and white women coming to look for it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that's wild, bro. Never in a million years, fam. Never. What was your thoughts on it, bro?
Man, first off, I just thought it was foul, but I thought it was funny above most because it's just like, bro, I'm finna rib. Like, what are you talking about? You like to play runaway slave. Like, I'm just trying to imagine what's happening in that bedroom between him and a Caucasian female. And for those listeners, we don't have anything against, you know what I'm saying, people of the opposite race.
Dating,
in this, what's up?
I said interracial dating, none of that. So yeah,
none of that.
Put that disclaimer out there. Yeah, no, we ain't got nothing against interracial. It's the act of what this man is talking about. This shit is nuts.
Right, it's the act that we're talking about. And I don't know, you know who Moneybag Mafia is on Instagram?
Moneybag Mafia? No, I'm not familiar.
So he's a comedian from Atlanta, and he actually has a skit like this where the skit was one of basically the master's wife sleeping with the slave and telling him to talk dirty to her. So once he started talking dirty to her, he was saying a bunch of derogatory things to that woman. And then basically after she got her what's the name off, she was like, "Yo ass is dead in the morning." I feel like that's what Mano was doing. I feel like that's what this man was on, but I do not condone that. Like, y'all bet not be out here fetishizing slavery, because I'm ribbing everybody on site if you out here fetishizing slavery. That's insane.
Yeah, it's nothing. Like I said, it's nothing even comical about that. I don't like, bro. Like, just hearing it is like cringeworthy to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing comical about it. It's nothing. Bro, like I said, J Mac Wild in the comments. But yeah, to me, like I said, this is really not a laughing matter. And like I said, if you knew the history, like we talk about it all the time about knowing your history, and just the hurt behind that is crazy, man. I really cannot believe that this man fixed his mouth to say that and to be okay with it. And by the way, he's on a very popular podcast. He's on Angela Yee's Lip Service. That's the platform he was using to talk about this. This is absolutely nuts, fam. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they should have cut that off right there. Like, you're not doing that on our podcast. Like, we finna check you, bro. Like, no, bro, we not doing that. But the thing is like, we still have ancestors or people who are alive that were like affected by slavery or did some type of we not that far removed, you know what I'm saying, to be making jokes like that. And I'm not the dude to be like to get sensitive or butthurt over a joke, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our friend circle is ridiculous, so I got thick skin when it comes to stuff like that. But that one, you don't touch stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That was a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, and I don't know if I should say this live on air. No, I'm not gonna say it because I'm not trying to alienate some of our listeners.
You gotta text me. You gotta text me.
I'll put it in the chat. I don't think I'm gonna say it live on air. Okay. I might text it to you later. But yeah. Shout out.
Can I say the N-word right quick?
You can say the N-word. Do your thing.
Hey, look. Hey, I don't know if you know who Mario Judah is, but if I heard that from Mano and I was in that studio, I would have been like, nigga.
Dog,
like, hold on, bro. So much right that now, might be racist.
I'm gonna put what I was saying in the chat, y'all. So I'm gonna go quiet for a second, but we can move on to the next topic because I'm done with Mano. I actually used to like some of Mano music, but I can't even play it no more, fam.
Man, for real,
I'm canceling Mano. I'm doing what our Anglo-Saxon counterparts like to do. I'm canceling Mano.
I'll never wear Wranglers again.
Never again. Am I putting on some Wranglers? Wranglers never again. But we're gonna talk about gun reform, bro. Like I guess you can talk about the incident that happened in New York first, and then we can kind of segue into that.
Yes. So as you guys know, or you may not know, there was a shooting in New York subway. I believe it was this week. They did catch a suspect. What is that? They did catch a suspect. Oh my God.
Get us together, dog.
I'm over here struggling right now, dog. They did catch the suspect. Suspect was Frank R. James, the 62-year-old man accused of popping a smoke canister in a crowded New York City subway car before opening fire during the Tuesday morning rush hour, is in police custody after a Good Samaritan spotted him walking down a Manhattan sidewalk in broad daylight Wednesday. Okay, so how I feel about this. One, this is a black guy. Frank R. James is a black guy from Wisconsin. And that's insane to hear in itself, right? Prayers to the people who were hurt, who lost their lives in this incident. And I'm at a point where I'm tired of seeing news like this. I feel like news like this is way more frequent than it should be in this country. And it makes me, as a gun lover, it makes me question, you know what I'm saying, should there be some type of gun reform in America? Do we have too much loony bins running around to be trusted with these weapons? Now, I'm a big believer in the Second Amendment. You know what I'm saying? I believe everybody should have the right to defend their person. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the time and age that we live in, when we hear things about race wars being potentially popping off, or civil wars, or like all this other stuff, and we got a food shortage. Like, people need guns, right? So my question to you is, do you think there should be some type of gun reform in America? If so, where do we start?
Gun reform, to a certain extent, yes. I think it should be harder to get a gun than what it is, because lately, I can only speak for Texas. I'm not sure how easy it is to get a gun anywhere else legally, but I think people who buy gun legally, like they are well-meaning citizens. It's the loony bins who go out here and cop stuff illegally. You know what I'm saying? And y'all have probably heard this argument before, that are the ones doing the crime and the criminals and whatnot. So I don't really feel like it should be. No, I do feel like it should be gun reform. I'm sorry, I was drifting off there, but I just think it should be harder to get a gun. I still think we should be able to buy whatever we want as well-meaning citizens who are registering them and doing the right things. Because in Texas, man, you can pretty much get a gun on almost every street corner. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really wild and really easy to get a gun here. All you need is a bill of sales. Excuse me. And a Texas driver's license to register. It's super easy. It's crazy. But as far as these mass, and that's just my thoughts on it, you know what I'm saying? Kendall, I'm curious to see what your thoughts is as far as you can leave it in the chat since you're not on this episode, but I'm curious to see what your thoughts is as far as why there should be gun reform, or what it looks like to you. But like I said, these loonies and these crazy, those isolated incidents, it's gonna happen in time. Like, even in cities where, but like I said, I'm ex-military. I like my weapons. You know what I'm saying? I use them safely, and all that type of stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's the same way with you, Kyrie. But even in countries where guns are banned, you still have like mass stabbings, people using vehicles for mass casualties and everything like that. So it's always gonna be a way for people to cause mass harm. So I really don't believe that there should be gun reform as far as like taking everybody's guns. If that's what gun reforms look like, the gun reform look like to you. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. Like, what does it look like to you?
Gun reform definitely doesn't mean taking away people's guns. I think everybody should, like I said, have the right to defend their person, their property, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sounding real conservative right now. I am, for my listeners out there. But so for the most part, I agree with you that it should be harder to get a gun. Because I bought 2 guns a couple years ago. I got a handgun and I got an AR-15. Easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, first off, when I went into the store, you need your Texas driver's license, but if you don't have the right address, you can't get a gun. All I had to do was fill out a piece of paperwork, not even get a new driver's license, and I was still able to get that gun. You know what I'm saying? So it's super easy to get one. So I think that should be changed. I think it should be a little bit harder. And like you alluded to, the other crimes that are going to happen, it doesn't make sense to take guns away from everybody, because criminals are going to be criminals. They're going to find a way. They're going to find a will to be able to get these illegal firearms and still do the things that they do. But I feel like it should be harder to get a gun, because most people that are buying a gun, like you said, they are well-to-do citizens. It's just like, how do we stop the crazy ones? How do we stop this pain that people have to go through, this trauma that people have to go through? I don't know about you, but I always have the thought when I go into certain places, I have to watch my back, because I don't know who's in this crowd. I don't know who's going to try to do what. So that's a little bit nerving. And then we already got to worry about the police and stuff like that. So something needs to change, but I just think it should be that. I don't know how else they want to dig deep into gun reform and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know what getting, like I said, if people thoughts on gun reform is like getting rid of all the guns, I don't know what that would really solve. You know what I'm saying? To your point. But I just definitely think it should be harder, because like I said, especially in Texas, it's way, way too easy. You know what I'm saying? Way too easy to get. So.
Yeah, it is. I hear it's pretty easy for the most part in all the red states, you know what I'm saying, where the Second Amendment is big and stuff like that. And I feel like, yeah, to an extent, it shouldn't be too difficult to buy a product, but we got to kind of manage it to an extent of it not being so easy.
Brandon, why did you mention Apple stock? That was random. You said it's about 165.
Brandon been talking about Apple stock for like 3 business.
Nah, I'm with him.
No, 3 business.
Like I know this is completely off topic, but straight up for our listeners, our people who are listening, like 165 for Apple, that's a great buy. So if y'all investors, I would suggest y'all go get on that because I had no clue it was that.
Plus,
it got down that low.
Yeah, and Apple's not going nowhere. They're only going to grow, especially if they get into this virtual reality market, because I can definitely see them trying to take a step towards Meta. As far as like the virtual reality, that's going to make their stock price go way up. I can see Apple getting into renewable energy in the future and stuff like that. That's going to make they get the stock.
Yeah, they don't with the way they envision Meta is through augmented reality. They investing heavy into that right now, so that's how they envision it. Not so much more as far as virtual reality with the actual headsets. But back to this gun reform thing, kind of crazy talking about the guy because you mentioned that he's from Milwaukee. Like I know somebody. It's kind of crazy like how small Milwaukee is, man. Because I literally know somebody was friends with the ex-girlfriend of the dude who did the shooting. And the FBI has been investigating her all week. Like they've been asking her, about his character and everything, and she don't really have much good things to say. She's been going all over the media in Wisconsin, pretty much bashing dude. I thought that was pretty nuts. Like, saying what do they call it? Was it 360 degrees of separation? Like, you know what I mean? Just to know somebody that was close to the incident, whatever the term is. But that's wild, man. That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild, and that's super crazy. Somebody that's involved with that. Like I could only imagine what she going through. But I'd be bashing his name too. I'd be trying to get as much separation away from this dude as possible. Like,
great point.
Nah, bro.
That's a great point. But I forgot to add this to the docket, but apparently ASAP Rocky and Rihanna have broken up because he was cheating. So I just thought the first thing that came to my mind, was if she was gonna go back to LeBron James.
All right, Doug. All right. Get podcast over, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in with Unlabeled Podcast. We're gonna call it a wrap tonight because he's clearly out of control.
You don't think she beat him up like she beat up Chris Brown?
Man, she probably was beating him up. I don't know, man. She probably was. Ask Kendall. He know.
I got a theory about this. I mean, we saw the picture, so I'm listen, y'all. Domestic violence isn't a joke. So, but I'm sorry, I just had to bring some levity there. But I have a theory about this. Like Chris Brown bit Rihanna. I think somebody else had this theory too. So you only really bite somebody when you're running or you're scared and you're trying to get them off you. But that's just that's why I said. That's why I made the joke about him beating him up. But God, come on, guys. Domestic violence is no joke, no laughing matter.
Nah, it's definitely not a laughing matter, but bro, it's easy to say it from a standpoint of a regular person because these people probably not really. Well, I don't even idolize celebrities, but I wonder why he cheated. What was going on in their relationship? Because most people would say, "Oh, damn, that's Rihanna. Why you cheat on her?" You know what I'm saying? And I already know toxic Twitter is gonna be like, "See, Rihanna got cheated on. Ain't nobody safe," and it's gonna get real hot in the streets for everybody that's dating right now. So. Well, y'all have fun with that, man.
Well, maybe Rihanna, maybe A$AP Rocky was sick, and Rihanna didn't offer to bring him no Zyrtec. She just wanted to have sex with him. That's probably what it was.
Hey, can we get Kier kicked out the chat? He changed his name to Minkit Jenkins, and it's an inside joke. But basically, whenever you hitting somebody, you be like, Minkit.
All right, back.
He gave it a persona, bro. He needs to be deleted.
Back to the show. I'm sick of the live chat already. But we want to touch on this last topic on coping with depression, right? Yes. I've had my bouts with depression, and I'm pretty sure Kyrie has. I wanted to give y'all just a little bit of what I went through and how I came out on the other side of it as well, and some practical things y'all can do to cope with depression, because it seemed like everybody that I've been talking about, but everybody I've been talking to lately has been dealing with some form of depression, whether it's an ending of a relationship, loss of a loved one, something. It just seems like it's going around right now, and it's absolutely crazy. So I want to know I want to know, Kyrie, like, get the listeners a little bit of insight on some of the things you've dealt with that has led you down the dark path of depression.
Man, so I definitely dealt with depression after the military, and I didn't understand I was depressed. All I know was I lost a lot of passion for the things that I love, you know what I'm saying, like working out, maintaining friendships and relationships with certain people, or just doing the things that I usually love to do. But that was influenced by, like you said, a bad breakup. I was homeless at one point. You know what I'm saying? I had to travel across country a couple times with like $300 and nothing else but, you know, clothes that I could fit in garbage bags and, you know, basically sleep on a friend's floor for like a year. So I was in a pretty dark place. And I know you as a close friend, you definitely remember that. You know, I really didn't know how to cope, man. I turned to a lot of bad habits, you know what I'm saying? Like, initially when I was first dealing with this, I turned to alcohol, you know what I'm saying? Just things that were counterproductive to getting me out of that state. So how I cope with it eventually is I just became a student of knowledge. Like I started reading books. I started watching YouTube videos about how to cope with certain things. I wrote down a list of things I love to do, and I tried to do at least one of those things a day. I try to keep my space clean around me because that affects your mental well-being. And I just try to learn more about depression. I try to learn more about what I was going through. And what I realized is I'm not the only one going through it. And that itself made me feel better because I started to understand it's not a permanent thing. You know what I'm saying? You could dig your way out of it. It just takes some work. It's not going to be easy if you're dealing with depression, but just know you're not alone. But most importantly, depend on the people around you. Don't hold that stuff in. Talk to the people that care for you.
Before we start going into like some of the practicality in it, what I want to ask you is like, did you realize you was in it, or did somebody point it out to you, or like when did you first start noticing the slip, like into dealing with depression? I mean,
somebody pointed it out because I thought I was like normal. I just thought I was like, you know, I'm out here. A couple people have pointed it out to me over the years. The first person was really my barber. He was like, yo, I think you got, you know, depression and PTSD. Like, you know what I'm saying? You should go get that checked out. And that was the same time you was kind of telling me to talk to the VA about that stuff too. So I did. And then, you know, they had me go through a series of tests and questioning. And that's when I found out I had it. But me, myself, I did not recognize it. It was the people around me that recognized it. Like, hey, you kind of different. My mom said something that really like woke me up, and it kind of hurt me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she was, we were spending some time together, and she said one night that she stayed up crying because she realized I was sad. You know what I'm saying? She realized I was going through something. And for me, that also made me kind of want to dig myself out of that because I'm seeing how my mentality and what I'm going through is affecting those around me. And it made me want to make me the priority and really focus on my happiness.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I've watched a lot of people around me deal with depression, and it's a really, really hard thing to observe. And you got to be empathetic in those moments because a lot of us, like I said, mental health in the Black community has always been taboo. I'm so glad that people are talking about it now. You know what I'm saying? But like to notice that the people around you are going through it and changing, they might not be like, you know, you might have a friend that's like super clean, like to get themselves together, like to get up and dress, and all of a sudden, you know, it's coming around you unkept, their hair ain't combed, and they just don't seem like that very, very lively person. Like you got to be aware of these things because that could be somebody slipping into depression. You know what I'm saying? So you always got to check in with your people, man, to make sure that they straight. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of my story and the first time that I ever dealt with depression. I was going through a really, really bad divorce, and I was I didn't see my son for over a year, so all I did was self-medicate, and that's another thing that you really need to stop doing. Like you got like self-medicating, like if you smoking weed or you doing any kind of substance abuse stuff like that, that shit doesn't help. It just puts you deeper and deeper down into a dark space. But this divorce was affecting my career. I was doing military couple at the time, had my child kept away from me, all that stuff, man. And I was like, it wasn't the best environment for him. And I did everything I could to prove like, you know, I didn't you know, that I needed my son with me, and you know, all that stuff, like the typical stuff that good fathers try to do. And a lot of times things don't go our way, and it didn't go my way at first at all. And me not seeing my seed for a year, but that was probably one of the biggest pains that I can experience in the world, man. I can't even express to y'all unless y'all been through that situation. Y'all probably won't even understand. And so, like I said, I was isolated myself. I was drinking. I was just doing everything that was like counter self-destructive. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, once all that stuff came to a head, and I had a support system around me, it helped me come up out of my depression. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to get back to some of the things I love. You know what I'm saying? But that was the first time I ever dealt with it. But during that whole entire time, I even contemplated on taking my life. Like, I really thought about just ending this shit off because I felt like I was being stretched thin. During that time, I still had family and friends that really leaned on me for certain things. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I just go ahead and just chalk it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here in front of y'all, talking to y'all, you know what I'm saying, live on YouTube. Y'all hear me giving y'all motivation every week, you know what I'm saying? And so you can come out of it, like the darkest, some of your worst moments, you can actually come out of it on the other side. Sometimes, like I said, it takes family and friends to help you out of these situations, but we also want to, I just want to give y'all that little bit because like I said, so y'all can see that everybody deals with it from time to time, and it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It probably ain't hit you yet, but at some point in your life, it's going to hit you. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I didn't even know a lot of that, bro, that you wasn't able to see Amir for a year, man. Like, that hurt me just hearing that, bro, because I know what type of father you are and, you know, how much your kids mean to you and stuff like that. Like, that's really tough. And I've also had those suicide thoughts, man. And I think for us, too, as veterans, we kind of, like, I feel like we overlook depression because in the military, the mindset is if you got some type of mental illness, like, it's seen as weak, especially in the infantry. Like, so if you got PTSD, it's like, bro, we are combat MOSs. We waking up to bombs over there. What you mean it's weak? Or, you know what I'm saying? They try to make fun of it. And that happens in the real world too, where we just don't recognize it. You know what I'm saying? You talk about how mental illness affects our people. Our people have been through so much trauma, from toxic family relationships to dealing with the sins and the mistreatment from our counterparts in this country, you know what I'm saying, and not even feeling like a citizen. Like, we need to talk about these things and we need to be able to change. What I will say, if you are a listener on this show and you are going through depression, one, get help. There's no shame in getting help. And two, understand the difference between maladaptive and adaptive behaviors. A maladaptive behavior is when you look to those substances Brother Jerome was talking about, like alcohol or marijuana or anything, whatever your vice is, that's a maladaptive behavior. What an adaptive behavior is going for a run, going for a walk, doing something positive to get you out that space. You got to do those things that you used to do, and I know it's hard, and I know you don't have the passion for it, but that's the only way you kind of get out of that outside of, you know, seeking help. But it starts with you. It starts with you being eager to learn, be able to read these books, because a lot of these books will tell you how to get out of that too. You know what I'm saying? And mental illness is something serious. So I hope y'all do take that serious. It definitely affects people. I gained like 100-something pounds dealing with my depression. Jerome, you see me in the Army when we was at Iron Horse. I was in the gym working out like 2 times a day. Like, that's what I did. And I lost a passion for that. And I just couldn't understand why. And it's because I was hurting on the inside.
And like I said, we always don't recognize it. So like I said, or as individuals, we don't recognize it. But if y'all start noticing these changing behaviors and people that you close to, like, definitely check on them. That saying, check on your strong friend, ain't that saying for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I want to point out when you were talking about maladaptive behavior, because sometimes you have to, when you're dealing with bouts of depression, you have to just gain momentum. So even if you're not wanting to do stuff, you have to change that environment, because what happens is we get stuck in a constant cycle of trauma, and it changes your mood, and then you just reliving that trauma over and over and over day by day. And unless you break that cycle, like whether it's a job that you hate, you know what I'm saying, whether it's a relationship that you in, until you break that cycle by doing something constructive, you're going to continue to perpetuate that over and over again. And like I said, some of the practical ways, I got a list of things right here is that'll help you cope. Unless you had something else to add, Kyrie, you got anything else to add before I go into this?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that helped me specifically initially was staying in contact with my people. Socialism, you know what I'm saying? It'll help improve your mood, getting around people that love you. Like I said, and people that friends who are friends of people dealing with depression, don't get around these people and start handing them blunts and start handing them alcohol. When you notice that these people are stuck in these cycles of depression, get them out of that environment. Take them out to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, we get around them and we just feed into that negative behavior. You know what I'm saying? I see it all the time with people who suffer from alcoholism and stuff like that. Their friends get around them and just constantly feeding them the substance that's bringing them down and down and down. And we talked about not drinking and smoking and shit like that, that self-medication. Being more active. Kyrie spoke to that. Like he said, to help him get out of it, he had to go for walks. He had to get back in the gym. That was one thing that was a huge thing that helped me. You know what I mean? Was getting back active, like picking up something heavy every day and moving that shit. Like it's gonna give you the momentum you need to move forward and get up out of it and break that cycle. One of my good friends is dealing with a bout of depression. He told me a bit of advice that his therapist gave him was to like if you're always like in a warm environment, he said go take a cold shower, like break that cycle of whatever you're doing immediately, so you can do something like I said, take a cold shower, or I think he said like if you all I forgot what it was, something else practical he gave me. I think it was like going for a ride or something like that. But instantly changing your environment can help you feel better when you're having those sad thoughts. One thing I did want to mention while I was on the fact of being more active, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, it'll come back to me in a minute, y'all. But another one was face your fears. Whatever that difficult thing is that in your life right now that's starting to bring you down depression, you have to face it head on. Your problems, you cannot not ignore your problems. They're going to keep coming, and it's just going to snowball. So you got to face your fear. You got to face that difficult thing head on and address it. Otherwise, like whether it's a family member or somebody that's, like I said, a relationship or wherever the case may be that's actually bringing you down, you got to face it head on. You cannot avoid that at all. And I already spoke about not drinking alcohol, eating healthy, changing your diet, man, because a lot of our problems, and shout out to Lamar, I see you in the chat, bro. I was just talking to you today about what things we consume and how our gut is really the root of all our health problems. Like we already know that food related illnesses are some of the highest cause of death in this nation. Diabetes, hypertension, all that stuff. All that comes through what we consume and what we put in our body. Some of it's hereditary, some of it's a medical condition, you know what I'm saying, that's not related. But for the most part, these are food related illnesses. You can almost change your mood immediately by changing your diet. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Kyrie.
No, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah, you could definitely like change your diet. I've noticed that myself. The stuff that you eat affects your gut. Your gut is literally connected to your brain. So if you're out here eating fast food every day, you're gonna feel like crap. You know what I'm saying? One, because you know you're not making the right decision. I know it's quick. I know it's easy. But you'll feel a lot better if you cook a meal at home and something that nourishes you. One thing I wanted to speak on that you talked about was breaking the cycle. Literally, you have to break this cycle. If you're in this pattern, nothing like you won't be able to change unless you change something, whatever that is. So you're literally in a war versus your former self versus your future self. And it's the little decisions that matter. It's the little decision to go take a 15 or a 10-minute walk. It's the little decision to not smoke a blunt, not take an alcoholic drink to kind of deal with those decisions. It's a little decision to open up to somebody that you usually wouldn't open up to about those problems. It's those little things, because time is going to pass you no matter what, but it's your decisions in those moments that is going to have your future self is going to be a reflection of your past decisions. So you just got to start digging yourself out of that rut, and it's not going to be easy. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to go through peaks. You're going to go through valleys. You're going to get it through another mental rut, but ultimately the consistency is what's going to affect your future self. And before you know it, if you do a lot of things that we talked about, then you'll be out of that rut. You'll be feeling good. You'll be smiling again, taking care of yourself again, and you know what I'm saying, getting back to you.
And one thing, so the shot, yeah, very well said, Kyrie. And a couple more practical things that you can do as well is develop a routine.
Yes.
and like I said, try to do something systemically every day that takes you out of those cycles. You know what I'm saying? Whether, like I said, it's a gym routine, it's a waking up routine, it's cut off the television sometimes, disconnect from social media, pick up a book. You know what I'm saying? Just do something different to set a routine for yourself. Also, if it gets really bad, then you can also seek help for depression. You know what I mean? One of those antidepressants definitely do help. I didn't like the way they made me feel. So I try to stay away from that and do more practical things that we mentioned earlier, like working out and stuff. But if it gets too bad and you have a chemical imbalance, sometimes you have to get on those antidepressants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't be scared of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And then, and like I said, yeah, you definitely have to make the choice to Quandra 100%. And one thing I would like to speak to is I tried seeking counseling for my depression, and it didn't work for me. And I think it was because I didn't have the right counselors. At the time, I really couldn't find anybody that could relate to my struggle specifically as a black man and some of the things I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying, socially, you know what I mean? So I couldn't find anybody that relates to me. But now it's a lot of therapists out there of different colors, and you can actually go and seek out somebody of color. But make sure that the psychologist or the therapist or whatever you seek during that time of depression, that they actually you're comfortable with them and you're comfortable with sharing, and they can actually listen. You know what I mean? And you can express yourself to them, because it's really, really hard to find somebody to speak to as a black man, me in particular, that could relate to the things that I was going through. You know what I mean? I don't know how that was for you, Kyrie, like with actually seeking help, therapy.
Man, when I first did, I'm gonna tell you too. I actually just tried to. First off, I know this is kind of off topic. I tried to get like a therapy appointment April 1st with the VA, and the VA is terrible. The therapist didn't even show up, bro. I was waiting for like 30 minutes. Like nobody showed up. It was like an online appointment, and I was like, well, that's trash. But that was my second attempt of just trying to talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying? And then the first time, it was when I was still living in California. I just sat there and looked at this lady. She was asking me questions I didn't want to open up, you know, because again, I didn't feel like she could relate to me or like what I went through. So that's definitely important. But like, yeah, you guys can find people that look like you to be able to go to these appointments. And I say that, and it's not for us, because I want to make this clear for our other listeners. It's not for us, you know, favoring a certain side, but people typically end up being more open with people they relate to or people that look like them. It makes it a little bit more comfortable, especially when you're dealing with fragile situations like that. So
yeah, and I got to keep it a buck, man. Like implicit biases exist. I like, we talk about it every day on this podcast. I don't know what y'all listening to, so like, I mean, they do exist. So no, you speaking truth, bro. Like if you feel like the person can't relate to you, then you know it ain't no reason for you to even have a conversation with them at all. So.
Right. And especially a lot of people in our from Milwaukee, where we from, like we seen it every day. We just didn't realize it. And a lot of times we don't have healthy examples of how to deal with stressful situations growing up as kids, because nobody's ever talked about these things. And that's why we're having this conversation today, so we can be able to like open up the dialogue on those conversations, so it could be a little bit more comfortable for us to speak about the things that's happened to us mentally without feeling like we're going to be clowned or people going to look at us different. Like, nah, let that off your chest, man.
And I know we like to clown as a community. We like to Jones and we like to crack jokes and whatever. But it do like if you joking all the time, can't nobody tell when you serious. So sometimes, like I said, you got to have those friends that you got to know, you got to recognize it. And also, it's important for us who like to crack jokes to, like, because I do it all the time. I'm pretty harsh, but like it's important for us to, you know, to turn that off sometimes and really open ourselves up to listen and be empathetic with people. You know what I mean? And all our listeners, anybody that's cool with us and cool with me, know that y'all got to open the ear for me, and whatever's said to me ain't going nowhere. So if you need some guidance from me, just reach out, like straight up. Y'all got my IG, y'all got my Facebook, y'all, you know what I'm saying? All my stuff is linked into the about section of this podcast. So if y'all feel like y'all going through something, just reach out to me. We got listeners that have reached out to me in the past, and we've discussed things. So like I said, if y'all can't talk to nobody, hit me up personally. Like y'all, I'm easy to contact, straight up. Because like I said, we building a community over here. This is like a family, and you know, iron sharpens. As we learn, y'all learn. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Very well said. Y'all can reach out to me too. Reach out to me on Instagram, Kyresis_. If you need somebody to talk to that's been through depression, I dealt with it for like 6 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all would have seen me, back when I wasn't dealing with it, it's night and day. Like, it really affects you. So if you need somebody, like, please reach out. Don't be scared. You know what I'm saying? Everything's gonna stay confidential and stuff like that. So, get that taken care of ASAP. But love yourself more importantly.
Facts. But yeah, man, did you have anything else to add to that? I didn't have any, I know it's hotline numbers out there that y'all can call if you're dealing with depression or suicide. I don't have anything I can give y'all right now. You got something you can look up right quick and give our listeners, Kyrie?
Yeah, let me see. Really good points. Let's see.
And one thing I do want to encourage y'all, like I said, like I said, you gonna come out of it. Like, don't let your thoughts be the end of you, and don't let them get you so caught up in your bind and of negativity that you think that you're going to have to end it all. Like, you won't come out on the outside of it better and stronger. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, if you do the things that we just suggested on this show, because we've all been to it, and that's how we wouldn't said it. We wouldn't have told y'all this if we didn't come out of it by doing these practical things.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be constant work. It's not going to be like one day it's just over. It's going to be things that happen in your life further down the road that might put you back there, but at least you know what to do or how to get out of that. And there is a National Suicide Prevention line. It's 800-273-8255. Once again, that's 800-273-8255. So any of our listeners out there, if you're dealing with something heavy like that, please utilize that number or keep it handy, because it's not a joke and there are people there for you.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact, man. So you got anything else to add to that topic, bro, that conversation?
Yes, I do. Bucks and 6.
Like, Bucks and 6. every week, Bucks and 6. I hate y'all because the Lakers ain't in contention no more. but man, we really hope y'all enjoyed our show today. And shout out to Nurse Mahdi once again of Be Clear. As y'all can see, he's going over to Kenya to provide for those that are less fortunate than us, even over here in America, where we have first world problems. Like we dealing with people who literally have to carry water, dirty water from a stream in order to bathe and do anything like that. Can y'all imagine having to do that? He's going over to Kenya to provide a well that will provide water for a village for the next 15 to 20 years. The link is in the description of this podcast. Y'all can see what Be Clear is all about. Y'all can follow him on Instagram. The link is in the description as well. Click the link if y'all would like to support Nurse Mahdi and his endeavors with building a well over in Kenya. A well over in Kenya. And he also takes other supplies as well. So, but y'all can look and see what our brother Nurse Mahdi is about. And like I said, by clicking that link in the description for Be Clear. What else? Merch. I have to apologize to some of our listeners because the tights, I took them off the website, y'all, like the leggings for the women, because they were not stretchy. They weren't, I'm put like this, they wasn't made for black women. So I took them off the website. But for if any of y'all ordered those, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put something together and send y'all individually. So if y'all ordered those, definitely hit me up so I can put something together and have y'all get y'all something to supplement that and get y'all something individually. But also y'all can get y'all money back for those as well. But everything else, the t-shirts and whatnot, should be good. If y'all have any issues with our merch, y'all can contact the Teesprings directly. They a little slow, but give them some time. They will refund you your money and they'll let you keep whatever defective merch they give you. But hopefully that's not often because it's only happened one time. But so I want to say like, oh, everything you order gonna be fucked up. But like, no,
it's just that one product.
It's just that one product. But man, any other church announcements, Kyrie? Did I miss anything?
Outside of that, make sure y'all like, comment, follow, subscribe. That's how we grow as a brand. We definitely want to grow, and we appreciate y'all support coming in every Sunday and Thursday and listening to us talk. It really means a lot to us that you guys are building into our dream. But the one thing that will help us too is if you guys share that link. You know what I'm saying? If you know anybody that would like that content or could benefit from the information that we talk about, go ahead and share that for us. Hit that notification bell as well so you're notified every single week that we go live.
Facts. And with that said, we will see y'all on Sunday with another episode of Unlabeled the podcast. I did want to leave y'all with something. I gotta find it first.
I'll leave him with something. I got him. Baby, won't you come my way? No, I'm just playing. I'm done.
I really don't like you, dog. Like,
I'm gonna get ribbed for that, but it's okay.
Hold on a second, bro. It's taking me forever to Google this.
Man, on the G, hurry up.
I'm trying, bro. Hold on a second. Jesus Christ, man. I just want to change I can't even find it. So what? You know what? I'm not leaving y'all with a damn thing. Y'all see y'all on Sunday.
Take care, y'all.
With another episode of Unlabeled Podcast. Peace.